Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over. And surely, goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. It's Friday. Well, this morning I want to talk about and give credit to two state institutions. But first, I want to congratulate the government and organized labor for being able to sit in a room to agree finally on 15% cost of living allowance, COLA, they call it. Question is, will this stretch across board for everybody who is threatening to go on a strike, or is it just for those who came into the room to meet with government? Number two, when will the payments, actual payments begin? Because we're told it will take effect from the 1st of July. So is it to be interpreted that by the close of July this year, 31st of July, they'll start getting their cost of living allowance? Those are questions that remain. But the bigger conversation is that 15% cost of living allowance has been agreed. So the teachers might as well call off their strike, get back into the classroom, get the students and pupils learning so that Ghana can become great again. While we congratulate government, I want to remind those who were defenders of the faith. Everything that is thrown at you, and you have still not realized it. So they send you onto media, radio and TV stations. Sometimes you do your own Facebook Live, and you're defending everything, even telling people that they are being wicked, they are not being considerate, and that will not give them any money, So now that you have been giving 15%, what will you be saying? And it's become one too many. You defend government so stiff, and there's no space for you to breathe. And then government takes a decision, and then you go into hiding. They cut your noses to spite your faces, and yet you still continue to do it. So how does your family feel? How do you feel if you're a father or a mother, an uncle or whatever? How do you feel when you do these things? You defend, and then you come back, you assure everybody that it's not going to happen, and then eventually it happens. How do you feel? The painful part is where you don't even have the courtesy to apologize. That's the painful part. That you run down everybody, insult everybody, take a dig at everybody, and yet when you are, whatever you are saying doesn't come to light, you don't even find it courteous enough to apologize. Why do we do that? So kudos to the Labor, Employment and Labor Relations Ministry. Kudos to Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. Kudos to everybody who was in that room to ensure that 15% COLA had been given to our teachers. Well, some teachers say it is not enough, but it is better than nothing. At least half a loaf is better than none. So kudos to them. Number two, Danny played a video of this police officer who works at the Jubilee House traffic intersection here. Here's a police officer, and I've had testimonies from about 15 people praising this lady. IGP, good morning to you. And this is a feather in the cap of the Ghana Police Service. So this police officer yesterday, I was told, was at the traffic intersection doing her work. I think she's with the MTTD. She saw a vehicle that had broken down and had become faulty. And then she decided that instead of watching, she was going to help them to move the vehicle because it was obstructing traffic. That's a police officer, a police lady. I don't know her name. Whoever brought me the video did not tell me her name, but I'm sure we do know yesterday, the 14th of July, where at the Jubilee House traffic intersection, this lady was there. And she was doing this work of God. So IGP, this is one of your ladies. You should be well pleased in her. You should be very well pleased in her. I've had about 10 to 15 persons speaking very well of her, that she's hardworking, she stands in the rain, that she's dedicated to duty, and here she's helping a trot push, the car to a place that will not obstruct traffic. These are the kinds of people, when we say, let's be citizens, not spectators, it's one of these things. And when we ask that, what are they sacrificing? She's sacrificing, but she getting good kwacha. That's a conversation for another day. So, officer, good morning to you and congratulations to you. And for all policemen, to all policemen who are doing a good job, Congratulations to you. Those who are bad police officers, shame on you. Congratulations to them who are doing good jobs, and shame on them who are doing bad job. Now, final state institution I want to give kudos to is the DVLA. I was amazed, and this has been like 2 weeks. I cannot think of it. The kind of reforms that the DVLA has introduced. Premium service here, this, there, and the process is so fast. I mean, if you have been to the DVLA before in the past, you would know that you would sweat it out before you attended to. But I went to the DVLA with a colleague of mine, and things were done like that. No protocol. No protocol. Just the same process that everybody goes through. Because me, I like to see and say. And I like to say kudos to the DVLA. Mr. Akwesi Buzia and his team out there, particularly the office around the 37 area, Madam Mensah, that's her name. Because I asked to see her and to speak with her and ask her what changes they are bringing. I mean, they are not perfect, I should say. But thus far, the reforms that the DVLA has introduced, I will clap for them. So Ghana Police, kudos to you. Minister of Employment, Labor Relations, and all those who went into the meeting, National Labour Commission, everybody, kudos to you for 15% COLA. And then also the Ghana Police, particularly through that service, that personnel who works at the Jubilee House traffic intersection. Good morning to you and congratulations to you. Now finish the praise and worship. Let's get to issues. Yesterday, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana spoke, Dr. Bawumia, after a long hiatus. His boss, the president who we voted for, has still not spoken to the people. And I remember that last week when I asked a question that as to why the president has not spoken to us. In fact, the week before, I also asked that question, and why he has not spoken to us. We were told that the president will speak to us at the close of last week. Today is Friday. Another week is ending. The president is nowhere to be found. Nana Showboy has not showed up. Nana Showboy has not showed up. So 3 weeks on, the president has not spoken to us, but his deputy, the vice president, came to speak to us. Need I say that the vice president perhaps didn't measure the mood in the country because he again came to say what the government has done as opposed to what it is that people want to hear. So the vice president spoke to us, but he was telling us what it is that he wants us to know and not what the people want to hear. The vice president, again, is blaming everybody else. That's been the tone of the government, which it messes people up because it gets people angry. The vice president, like all other government communicators, are blaming everybody but themselves. So are they saying to us that 6 years in government, there is not a single action that the government has taken which has brought us where we are? So that if we are sharing blame and giving Russia, giving Ukraine, giving COVID, giving Mahama, giving the NDC, giving the past government, this government has not contributed an iota of wrong, which has brought us this far. Because that's why they have not said it. That, oh, we admit that times are hard. You admit is one thing, but do you recognize your role in bringing us to this point? The government has as yet not found out and has not given us indication, the strongest of it yet, that they are part of where we are. And that's where the problem begins. So 6 years on, you are still blaming John Mahama. 6 years on, you are still blaming the past government. Is it true? Because people are talking about mismanagement. People are talking about corruption. People are talking about wastage. People are talking about unnecessary spend. People are talking about lackadaisical attitude to work. People are talking about plenty appointees do nothing. People are talking about elephant-sized government. People are saying things, even people within the government. You heard the Minister for Parliamentary Affairs in Parliament, leader of government business in Parliament. He spoke. He said, majority of our ministers don't bring value to the table. I became a bit suspicious because here is a man who is a leader in Parliament. And there are three arms of government, the executive, legislature, and judiciary. They are supposed to do what we call checks and balances, keep an eye on them. Oh, yes, Roya. Now, The leader in parliament, who is supposed to be keeping an eye on the executive, accepts a ministerial position from the executive to become part of the executive. And he is supposed to be regulating the activities of the executive. You get what I mean? So I set my questions. I organize the exam. I sit and write the exam. I invigilate my exam. And I give myself a pass mark. That's what, if Mr. Seche Mensabuso has accepted that, if I were him on principle, I wouldn't have accepted that ministerial position because he is supposed to be keeping an eye on the executive. How does he do that when he is part of the executive? Can he keep a good eye? That's the first one. And add that to the provision in our constitution that says that 50% of our ministers must come from parliament. The same parliament that is supposed to be keeping an eye on the executive are the same parliament that will have 50% of the ministers emanating from. So there's confusion somewhere. But I digress. So Vice President Bawumia told us 4 reasons why we are the IMF. Project that for me, please. The 4 reasons according to the Bawumia epistle. The gospel according to Bawumia. And Dr. Bawumia yesterday used the analogy of a carpenter. That if you are a carpenter or if you contract a carpenter to build something for you, and then without a tsunami, tornado, whatever it is, a thing collapses, would you blame the carpenter? And then if you contract a carpenter and he builds for you and a tornado hits, would you blame the carpenter? That's what Dr. Bawumia said. I didn't know that Dr. Bawumia was interested in carpenters. But 6 years on, are we still blaming the, what do you call it, the previous government? Energy sector excess capacity payments, banking sector cleanup, and COVID, Russia, Ukraine. How much did we spend for the banking sector cleanup? How much? And could we have used that money to save the banks? In other countries, banking sector cleanup had happened, and the banks had been saved. How much did we spend, did we propose to spend? Let's start from there. For the banking sector cleanup. And how much did we end up spending for the banking sector cleanup? And we always talk about the deposits that were saved, but how many jobs were lost? I know people who used to work in the bank who today are grilling meat, barbecue. I know people who used to work in the bank who today are selling pure water. I know people who used to work in the bank who today have started Banku and Shitolo business. I know people who used to work in the bank who today have started their own bakeries because they were shown the exit for no fault of theirs. When you start blaming another person for their troubles, they will get angry at you, Dr. Bawumia. So the mood in the country is not what you are projecting exactly. 6 years on, you are still blaming your predecessor. Then why did you force yourself to come into government? 6 years on, you are still blaming your predecessor. Abba, 6 years on, you have had the steer. And you told us that before COVID, we were doing very well. Why is it that within those 4 or 5 years, when COVID had not hit, why were you not blaming your predecessor? And then suddenly, when COVID, Russia, Ukraine, all the things you decide to throw in comes up, you start blaming your... So I'm saying that of all the blames you are giving to everybody, where does government's blame come in? Or you are not part of the problem because you are the managers of the economy. You are the leadership of the economy. So the mood in the country, I'm not sure Dr. Bawumia got the mood in the country right. Because at this point, we are not looking for jobs. At this point, we are not looking for raps. At this point, we are not looking for claps. At this point, we are looking for solutions that will take the people out of the doldrums, put food on their table, put money in their pocket. Why? When Dr. Bawumia said that we're going to write a cashless society, did he mean that at some point we will have no cash in our pockets? Because that's where we are now. Dr. Bawumia has spoken. What next? And should we be able to say that Dr. Bawumia has achieved what he wanted to achieve? Because he said we are going to run a cashless society. Now we have no cash in our pockets. Is that the cashless society Dr. Bawumia was talking about? Because my understanding of what the cashless society is that you have less cash circulating, like real cash, banknotes circulating. We would go to the e-platforms. We see what we have done with the e-levy. We have succeeded in discouraging people from using it. People are now congregating back in the banks. So I'm saying that when Dr. Bawumia meant we're going to have a cashless society, was he talking about no cash in your pockets? Because now we have got to the point where we have no cash in our pockets. And Dr. Bawumia should have been telling us how we're going to get cash in our pockets. Now, this is a Ghana card. This one is a Ghana card. We have not issued it to everybody who registered to get a Ghana card. People are still struggling to get their Ghana card. But guess what? Play that video from Dr. Bawumia for me about the Ghana card, Coco. Danny?
People sometimes don't even appreciate what the impact of the Ghana card is. But if you gave me 1,000 interchanges and a Ghana card, I'll choose the Ghana card because it has more impact on development. Sometimes don't even appreciate what the impact of the Ghana card is. But if you gave me 1,000 interchanges and a Ghana card, I'll choose the Ghana card because it has more impact on development.
If I had one Ghana card, 1,000 interchanges would mean nothing to me. So this one is compressed, 1,000 interchanges. But Dr. Bawumia, if you knew that one Ghana card is worth more than 1,000 interchanges, why didn't you start producing Ghana card from the get-go? Just like the cathedral analogy, that if we build a cathedral, all our problems will be solved. Why didn't you people start building the cathedral from scratch and doing national card? So that the Tamale interchange that we went to cut short for, the Obechebi Lamte that you went there, smiling and gleaning and giggling, you wouldn't have gone there. All those interchanges that you went to cut short for and made speeches then, including the one in Tamale where you said that, oh, the contract has been awarded, but you are now in talks with the architect to look at the quantities. And I asked myself, what quantities did you agree with the architect before you eventually signed the contract? Because the quantities would decide how much you're going to spend and the duration of the project. My father has built so many things in this country, so I know. And it's basic knowledge. Are you now suggesting to us, the same person who told us that we will construct concrete roads, Dr. Bawumia, the same person who told us that we'll start asphalt and bitumen roads and construct concrete roads, and I've been asking you where the concrete roads you promised us are. The same person who told us that we would have to use interchanges and we'll have to get them so that the economy will move at a certain speed. Now is telling us that one Ghana card like this, is worth or better than 1,000 interchanges. Hey, bossu, today is Friday. When you go to the mosque, I beg you, maybe you should ask for forgiveness. One Ghana card is worth more than 1,000 interchanges. Why? Can the Ghana card stop traffic? Can the Ghana card take people up and down? And we have not even started benefiting from this thing fully. There are people who are still queuing for their Ghana card. There are people who have paid their 250 and they are still queuing for their Ghana card. There are people who are joining queues and then they are told that, well, we are counted up to a certain number, so go and come back. Man hours are being wasted for the same Ghana card. We have not finished operationalizing it. People are not able to access their bank accounts because they have no Ghana card. And you are telling us that if you had one Ghana card, it is better than 1,000 interchanges. Bossu, whoever wrote that speech for you, maybe you should fire that person. Today, fire that person. Because it do you nya big time. I'm not sure that what they wrote for you, you read it carefully, Bossu. But you cannot say that one Ghana card is better. Is it not you the same person who told us that this can be used as a visa to travel across the world? And you even got the number of countries in the world wrong? The same people are the same people writing speeches for you, and you are the same person reading them to students who are learning from you, a PhD holder, Bossu. Why? How do you come and tell me that the Ghana card is worth more than 1,000 interchanges? I'm saying that if you knew that, why didn't you start procuring Ghana cards for everybody in this country right from 2017, so that by now all our problems would have finished? Because we have interchanges, it would make connection between the cities and the towns easily. Make it quite easier. I say the mood in the country now is not about praising and worshiping yourself. The mood in the country called Ghana right now is about how people can butter their bread. Some have bread, they have no butter. Some don't have bread at all. Those are the key issues. And that's why I've been calling on the president to speak, and speak like the president of the nation, not like an aspiring president. Because Dr. Bawumia wants to be president. We don't need campaign now. 2024 is 2.5 years away. We don't need the campaigns now. Now we need you to deliver the public good as you promised to the people of Ghana in 2020. So if the campaigns have started, let us know. If breaking the 8 is your agenda now, let us know. But the person who is not able to feed this morning, who has a degree, yesterday somebody brought me a letter, he has a degree in computer science, he has done other professional courses, worked for 4 hours to come and meet me. Brought me an application, handwritten application, because he said he can't even afford the printout from a cafe. Those people, when they hear you say some of the things you're saying, they will get so angry. You are not measuring the mood in the country. Lawyer Jantua will say, when you give the nation to Dadaba, when you give the nation to Dadabes to manage, they lose touch with the reality. That is where we are now. You have lost touch with the reality because your kenke was sliced for you to eat. You didn't buy it from Awonye to peel yourself. Good morning.